Okay, is it filming? Yeah, it is. Hello there. Good day. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of experimental type of thing. It's raining outside and I want to try filming when it's raining. I put my iPhone in a plastic bag type of thing. I made cutouts like for the camera, and where I think the microphone is, I actually have no idea if it's using the frontal microphone there or the bottom microphone there. But I wanna try that out. The only real concerns I have here, two main concerns, is that raindrops, when they hit the plastic bag, may make this annoying sound. I hope they don't do it like it's an experiment. I don't know how it's gonna go out. And another thing is that maybe some water will get it into my iPhone and ruin it. But I hope it won't, because of this plastic bag. If it starts, I will try to just film like this. So it doesn't really, because the cutout for the camera is on the front, perhaps I'll try to tilt the stock, so I'm kind of filming myself like this. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing, you know, like a little umbrella. But perhaps it would be funny. So wait till we get out on the street and we'll see. Okay, here we are. Oh Lord! Oh, it is heavily raining. Oh my goodness! Goodness gracious! And let me undo my stockings, basically my jeans thing. I think it's cool, but I did my jeans up, and I think it looks cool. But I'm not sure if it's if it would be appreciated by other individuals who might have different opinions on what's cool. It might look too gay. It's not that I'm like it's not that I'm afraid. It's more like I don't want any unnecessary attention when I'm just trying to film shit. Okay, it is very funny. I hope the drops of rain don't impact the cars as well. I hope the drops of rain don't impact the sound quality. Like that's something I hope for. And I hope my selfie stick won't get like all rusty after that. Because damn, it costs 200 rubles. It's cheap as shit. Well, it's more expensive than that actually, because you can put it in the ground and make plants grow. But with the selfie stick, no. Okay, I'm about to crisscross the road, so I'll see you on the other side. And I'm on the other side. It kind of takes longer for me to notice if it started recording or not, because there is a plastic bag and the screen is blurred, and it's not as easy to tell if it's recording or not. Okay, I'm back in this same field outside, and I'm walking on this, like, I hope you can see it, I don't know, brick block kind of thing. The owner of my flat, my landlord, I guess you call him, told me that there used to be a giant wall here, because this entire field, oh look at the flowers, man, look at damn flowers, because the entire field is I think it's privately owned by some fucker, because it's fucking Russia, everything is privately owned by some fucker. So this entire field it used to be blocked off, and they were supposed to build something there, but I guess they never got the funding or something like that, or they never decided to. They just own it, and that's good enough for them, because most of the people who own this kind of shit in Russia, they don't give a fuck, you know. They already own gazillion other things, so it's just, they don't care. They have no incentive to try to make profit out of it, which is one of the problems of capitalism, and especially here in Russia when we have out of control oligarchy, which is, don't get me started, okay? Well, at least some people are doing something. I don't know. These are fake glasses. These are fake. But I thought they looked cool, you know. They make me look more respectable. Because I look, already in just this coat I look funny. When I put some glasses on, that makes me look like a respectable, I don't know, whatever, respected individual. These are the military glasses. I found them in a box in the military when we were like, what was it? It was like a, what do you call it? Not cellar. It's a place where you store things. It's like a little room filled to the brim with old shit. Antique random crap. Not really antique, but old. So we were cleaning it up as demanded by our whatever you call it, our head guy, our superior. Yeah, that's the one. Our superior, because there was going to be some inspection, and this room might have something. Well, nobody knew what it had, but it may have some things that were not supposed to be there, because I don't know, like paint, for example. Paint is flammable, some of it is, and thus it was not supposed to be there because fire regulations and shit. And yeah. Basically, we were cleaning it up, and I found these glasses in a box with random other shit, and I found some wires and shit. And vertical. I took out the lenses because the lenses had zoom in them. They were not fake. They were actual. I don't know what kind of zoom they was, but they had optics. I don't know. Dioptries, whatever. They were for people who see bad. First I took them out, and then I put them back in, and I colored them with a black felt tip pen, and made myself an epic black glasses. I was the only guy in the military who had black glasses, at least in our division. And to put them on, I would show off when nobody from the superiors saw me. It was very funny. And I remember marching in the group of soldiers, and I put on the glasses and I make it steel faced. Everybody thought it was hilarious, because we were like, oh, serve the country, serve that, and I'm like, fuck, I'm a fucking cool guy. I got black glasses on, whatever. It was funny. It's funny. Yeah, it's about the glasses. And they are with me ever since. And just like I always do with my glasses, one of their things broke off and got lost, and you know, whatever. Shit always happens like that. I always replace them. It's kind of funny if I look back at all the glasses that I ever owned. Most of them had a fake ear type thing. You know, it's funny sometimes not being a native speaker, because I can speak English very well and fluently, but these kind of little words that I just never came into contact with, and I don't know. I just don't know. It's a little funny thing. Okay, from all the rain, my shoes are starting to get wet, which is not a healthy thing, but I guess I don't really care. Huh. Today, I wanted to talk about sustainability. I was thinking, like, a thought came to me when I was thinking about, hey, how about if I like sing a song every episode for whatever reason? I don't know. Crazy things, crazy ideas always come to mind, and it came to me that maybe I'd sing a song every episode, and I thought, okay, that should have been loud, because I heard a giant drop splash on the plastic. So I thought that maybe I should sing a song. But then I thought immediately, okay, that'll be 365 songs a year. And I'm like, do I know this many songs? Do I even want to put myself through that torment? Because it's not just that I have to learn it and like memorize it, not the point. The point is, are there this many good songs? And are there this many songs that I would care to actually, like, good songs, yeah, alright, whatever. But are there this many songs that I would actually care to put on the video? And I thought, no, surely no. There's no way I find as many songs that are good and that would be good for the video. So I thought immediately, like the second thought that came to me was like, wait, if there is not this many songs, and I sure know a lot of songs that are pretty cool. The second thought, well, 365 ideas a year is also, it's also pretty, isn't that even like a worse? It's like even harder to pull off, because given all sorts of different spins on the same ideas, I mean, yeah, but even still, 365 fucking ideas a year. What I'm talking about is these vlogs. Like, sure, oh, there was lightning. And a raindrop, just hit me in the eye. Sure, I want to make this thing. I want to do this kind of vlogging every day. But my thought, there we go, there's the thunder. But is it even sustainable? Like, can I keep doing it without becoming full of shit? And by full of shit here, I mean not, like, right now, I would consider this and my ongoing series as full of shit. But they are full of shit in a different way. They are full of shit because I am dumb and I'm stupid, and what I'm talking about is dumb and stupid, but I like it. Like, I have something to say and I have something to think about. So this is, for me, this is okay. This, I mean, whatever. I know it's full of shit. Who cares? But what I mean by becoming full of shit, really, you know, I got the best words, the best of the languages. What I mean by becoming full of shit is having nothing really to add, and yet still going at it, beating a dead horse, you know. Keeping making the videos continuously without really having anything to talk. Because right now, at this moment, I look around and I say, and I think what other things I can talk about, And just off the top of my head, I can imagine all sorts of ideas that I would want to talk about, like specifically on this show. And yet, oh, somebody was running and they spilled their porridge, which is sad. This now, like, ants and bugs will have the porridge. At this point, when I think about what I want to talk about, I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. And when I start thinking off the top of my head, I don't really have a full list, but when I try to generate ideas, I come up with a lot of ideas. When I have a lot, I still have more somewhere in the back of my mind. But what I'm thinking is, surely it's less than 360 fucking 5. That's ridiculous. And yeah, that's my point. That's the thought that came to me. Like, how sustainable is this style of video? How sustainable are these series? And in general, like immediately afterwards, my second thought, my afterthoughts were, how sustainable is YouTube in general? I think I remember PewDiePie from one of his videos, maybe a bunch of his videos, where he says that he doesn't think that YouTube is forever, but for now that it is currently there, he says that why not as well enjoy it, and that's what he's doing. But like, you're fucking PewDiePie, right? You've been doing it ever fucking since, and I ain't never seen him like stop or anything. And I was trying to get into his head how he envisions his life without this, because like, you do YouTube, another lightning, another thunder. You do YouTube as an entertainer. That is your job. And I mean, we haven't really had any YouTubers age because it's such a new thing. But I was thinking, well, if he stops doing YouTube, what is next? What might be next for him? And I mean, he knows that probably better than me, but for me it's more of a, not a specific thought, it's more generic, like, what is there some sort of way at this point in time where one who is a YouTube entertainer can stop what he's doing and yet continue in the same kind of direction? I guess you can become a comedian, but again, it's very much a little bit different, because comedians are oftentimes writers. They spend a lot of time making up jokes. They spend a lot of time like actually preparing skits, or whatever you want to call them. They're little comedian things. Whereas a YouTuber just goes online and entertains everybody with their personality. Like, that's what PewDiePie does. He doesn't really script his videos. He sometimes does scripts. That's, of course, like, that's part of his channel. But the majority of his content is unscripted. He usually has some like ideas, and in general, like, for example, so take meme review. He has memes pre-selected, what kind of memes he would look at, and he has like kind of a little bit of a commentary that he wants to talk about, like, but he doesn't really have a script for that, for how he would do that. Maybe he jets down some ideas and that's it. He doesn't really have a script. That's my point. Whereas if you do comedy, you would need a script. So my thought was, okay, so these media personalities, these entertainers, what is the essence of their job? And allow me to introduce you to this concept. Say, I am a programmer, and being a programmer, I have this professional skill. I can do programming, I can do software engineering, I can do debugging, to a lesser extent than a professional debugger, but it's a very similar field. Like I can change direction into a debugger, just learn some things over the course of like a couple of weeks, and then gain the experience needed over the course of a couple of years to be a great debugger. But then again, I have professional competence in this one field, and that would allow me to do all sorts of things. I can go into teaching, which is a funny thing in terms of YouTube, but like YouTubers can do teaching, I guess. But my point is, when you are a YouTube entertainer, what is your field of competence? Like, when I think about, say, philosophy YouTubers, and I'm subscribed to a lot of those, they have a field of competence in that they, they can write philosophy, they can do philosophy, so perhaps they can write a book, and write another book, and just continue their life and expressing their philosophical competence just through different channels other than YouTube. But when you are a video entertainer, what do? How is it that you can change your direction without completely switching the field of your work? Like, for example, I know that, say, PewDiePie and Marzia collaborated and they did a clothing design type of shit. Like, yeah, you can do that if for whatever reasons you decide to abandon YouTube. That is totally doable, but that's a different field. Like, is there a field where you can continue that? Okay, whatever. I got myself. Maybe you got me too. I hope so. And this question of sustainability of being a YouTuber in general, and sustainability of specific series, and sustainability of specific format, like these three questions, I think are very important when we try to do some things. Because, for example, I am very like a hands-on guy. Not in Bill Clinton type of way, or whoever described himself that way. Oh, somebody described Donald Trump that way, yeah. They're like, oh no, he's a very hands-on guy, when they were talking about his relationship to like touching people who didn't want to get touched. Not in that sense. I'm a very hands-on guy in terms of I like, not necessarily like, it's like me to experience through action. Say, I enjoy reading and learning about shit, but in terms of actually taking it to heart, actually making it a part of my worldview, now that takes hands-on action. So, for example, let me give you something. When I learned programming, how I do that is I don't do tutorials or shit like that when I want to learn something new. Like how I learned programming, yeah, I did tutorials, but like a first couple of episodes of a series where they just explain the basics of what it is and how it works. But then the concepts, the rest of the shit, I just take a reference card and then I play around with it. I try to write some shit and see how it works, and I read the technical documentation. I don't watch other people apply things and learn through that. I apply things myself and learn through that, and thus that does mean making a lot of mistakes and repeating a lot of mistakes that other people have already went through. Like, one of my favorite stories in terms of programming is that I actually wrote React kind of type of thing. I guess it's not really React. I wrote Hyperscript or Pug, if you're that kind of guy. If you know what those mean. I didn't know at the time, but what I did is I used JSON with all sorts of semantic rules to write HTML and to write custom components with custom logic. And I combined the JSON with JavaScript, where I would write functions. So I guess I just wrote a templating engine for myself, an engine that would allow me to create components for the web, and it was pretty cool. And at the same time, it was terrible because I did it all by myself, and within the stretch of like a month or something, or even less. But the idea was that I did it. And only then later I realized that, hey, such a thing already exists. And it's called React, Vue, Angular, whatever, you name it, Pug. And for me it was like, oh, cool. It was a huge thing that I didn't know about, and I just wrote it all by myself, which is exactly what I always do. I write shit. As well, game engines, like I am interested in game engines and programming. And I just write those things. I know that there is Unity. I know that there is Unreal Engine. I know that all sorts of different people did things differently. But I like doing things myself. And through doing things myself, I oftentimes learn and understand why they did certain things in a certain way, why these were the decisions they did, because they did basically the same as me, and we all choose the best, and certain aspects of like certain ways to write, to engineer one piece of software, well, the most rational ways, they would be the same. And I observe that in my work, as I guess programming is really more of my hobby ever since I stopped teaching, because I never did it as a job. I taught it and I studied it. That's what I did with it. I did it as more of a hobby. So I see the decisions, like when I look at a piece of software and I look how it is made and the decisions that went into it. At first, I don't understand why that is and why things are like they are. But when I write that piece of software myself, or when I write something like that myself, I start seeing why this, why that, why some things were done in this particular way and not another way that I would like them to be done. And yeah, the same applies to everything. And my original point with this entire rant was it would also apply to YouTube and to all of my actions. I decided that I want to try YouTube, and I didn't think ahead. I just take this idea that I want to do, and I go with it, and I see through doing it what might go wrong, which is different from how other people may do things. Is they think ahead and they try to come up with like all sorts of different things, and they, oh, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work with me. Well, it's a nice thunder. With me, if it's not gonna work, well, I will know it when it doesn't work. when I try to run the program and it doesn't run, if I'm learning like a new language, or if it runs in an unpredictable, weird way. It has its drawbacks, is that I always, not always, but oftentimes step on the same, what do you call them? On the same rake that other people already stepped on, or even the same kind of rake that I already stepped on, only perhaps I didn't get it the first time, because I didn't consider that that's what's happened. I thought something else happened. But I guess that's how I do things. That's my thing. Oh, there was a cute bug. There is a cute bug. I didn't murderize no cute bug. I stepped over him gently. It's funny how I say I stepped over him, because in Russia, bug is a male word. In America, you would say I stepped over it, in an English-speaking world. But in Russia, for me, bug has attribute of maleness attached to it in my brain. So when I say bug, I stepped over him, it's more natural than I stepped over it, even though the language is different. But like I always say, at least for me, words are attached to symbols. And when I try to express bug, but not say the word bug, but refer to something that I already had, the property, the maleness of the concept of bug in my head makes me say him. Even though the more correct way would be it. Because a bug in English is it. As well as, like, say cat. Like, duh. I remember in school it was like the most painful thing for me. Referring to cat as it. I would constantly mess it up when I spoke. And it's funny, it's also funny because in Russia, cat has both male and female versions, and they are widely used, both. You can refer to a random cat you see as either male or female, you do you. Nobody, there is no preferred one. I guess most of the time it is the female version, but it really depends on the context, and not on the context in a meaning way, on the context in a semantic way. Say, for example, if you want to say the cats are, look at all these cats, say, for example. No, that's not a good one. Yeah, I guess you just use whichever one feels right to you. There is no real difference between the two versions. And they are quite different as well. They sound different. Like, for example, male cat is kot, and a female cat is koshka. And a baby cat is котенок. It's a Russian language, you know. And we don't have a middle gender for the cat word. We only have the male and female. We don't have neutral. We don't have lacking. We don't have it for the cat word. We have it in general, but we don't have it for the cat. Why did I start talking about the cats? Oh yeah, because I was talking about how I stepped on a bug and he was alive, and then I realized that bug is neither he nor she. It is it, because we don't know the gender of the bug or the sexuality, or perhaps those two things would be the same for the bug, wouldn't they? Maybe not. I know that the snails have a very, they are both male and female, I think. The snails or the slugs, something like that. I don't know. And sexuality is really interesting in the animal kingdom, especially in these more primitive animals where they are on a evolutionary step where it's not as cut in stone as in humans, in mammals and shit like that. Even in mammals. I don't know. It's just very cool, very interesting. Man, I've been eating terrible. I've been eating potato and bread, and it's really not good for my health. My chest hurts, and a friend of mine, not like a friend, an acquaintance of mine, told me that that's because of lack of vitamins. But maybe, I don't know. I can see their point, because when I start eating like shit, when I try to save money and I eat whatever, it seems to prove a point, but it's so inconsistent. I don't know. I don't know if that is right. It doesn't feel right. It does seem to be more right than not right, but I don't know. I just don't fucking know. The rain is still going hard, but I see some sunshine from both left and the right, which means the clouds are basically only on top of me. Well, they are in front. Yeah, they're going that way, or they are coming from that way, because all the other sides, the horizon is lit up. There is sun in there. I can see the sun. I guess I should finish what I started when I talked about consistency. And how I would approach it. In terms of consistency of YouTube and professions and careers in general, I guess I would go with I don't care. Like, I'm not that kind of guy who would want to spend his entire life doing one thing at all. Like, that's one of my worst fears. To just keep doing the same thing for my entire life. Like, at this point, I did painting, I did programming, I did quite a lot of poetry, which was when I was much younger, but at the same time it was when I was much younger, and thus it is pretty shit. not all of it, not all of it, okay, not all of it. I do all sorts of things. Now I do philosophy, and I'm really into that. And, well, philosophy, I guess you cannot really say now I do it, It's more that I got this new tool of how to think, and it's not necessarily that now I do it. It's from for a couple of years, not more than a couple of years, for like 5 years, something like that. I've been doing it. I've been studying it. I've been trying to apply it and live by it. Let's put it that way. Which is, I guess, this is the same thing as trying to apply it. And my feet are soaking wet. I can feel them. That's what happens when you have cheap ass shoes. But guess who doesn't give a fuck? It's this guy. Because yes. So in terms of continuity, not continuity. In terms of what did I dub it? Not continuity. In terms of being able to persistently produce YouTube videos, I would say I don't give a fuck. I would do it until I want to not do it. You know, I like it and I want to do it. In terms of consistency of a given format of videos, well, I think as well, like formats, if you still want to do videos, like we can treat the format of videos as just making videos, and with that you can do a lot. Like take for example a crash course, John Green's channel, and his brother. What's his brother name? Oh my god, sorry, I don't remember. Actually, like his brother content. Whatever. I'm very sorry, but I don't remember. So Hank, yeah, there we go. Hank and John Green's channel, and what they did is that they did a lot of educational content, and then they turned into vlogging with like a little agenda attached to every vlog they did, which is cool. Like they ran out of the format of video of like educational series. They had it planned for a very specific set of episodes, which you don't have that kind of, you don't have that with every YouTube series. You don't have that with every format. Like for example, meme review. PewDiePie doesn't know how many episodes of meme review he's gonna make. He's just gonna make it until he runs out, or until he doesn't want to do it. So with formats, it's not really that big of a deal. You have two options here. If your format is like do things that are different and random every time, well, you do you. If you can calculate for how many episodes you would be able to do that, well, whatever. You can just like my point is, don't treat a video format as something vital to you as a video maker, as a YouTuber. Treat it like even within one series. Treat a format of something you do in a video, and maybe you would do it a couple of times. Treat it as a extension of your video. Like you can add that to your video and have that in your series. Perhaps it might run from the beginning to the end of your series if you have that, or it might at some points be a part of it and then stop being a part of it, and maybe something else would come into its place. So don't treat a specific format, a specific little doobly-doo you do in a video. Like for example, my original idea, like sing a song, and my thought was like, damn, 136 songs, 165, 36, 165 songs. I ain't doing that. I don't have these many songs. And my answer would be, if you want to do it, you can. Don't try to think about, oh man, there will be 365 songs in a year. No. Do it until you run out of songs, and then if you want to, and then you don't have to do it any longer, because that's it. That's the end of this specific little part of your videos. That is the end of this specific little thing, specific little format. So yeah, and the last thing, in terms of the ability to continue a series, now this here, I guess I already touched on it when I talked about the format, but again, you have two type of ways looking at it. You can either have, well, I can think of two types. You can either, you can either do a series with, you can think of how many episodes you are going to make. Like for example, when you, what I've been thinking about, maybe I should do like a philosophy educational video, and start with just a history of philosophy in general, and then branch out in each philosopher and their ideas, maybe after the series or maybe during the series. And in that type of situation, I would know how many episodes. Oh, that was an epic lightning, and it was pretty close. Where's my thunder? Come on, give me the thunder. There we go. I wouldn't have this. I would know the specific amount of episodes that I can do, that I would plan for, and then the series would run out. Like, if you have a series with concrete set of episodes, well, good for you. Then you don't have a problem with trying to continue that series. It just ends, and your channel goes on. Perhaps you move on from that, add something, maybe different take on the same subject, try to apply it, I don't know, whatever you want. Or if you have like an endless series, like say a vlog or a meme reviewer like PewDiePie, you just keep going until there is no more things to it. But like, don't treat it as a series. Treat it as individual videos adhering to the theme. And then with the theme, you can work. You can like change it, you can evolve it. Like meme reviews say, these videos evolved, definitely. They have the basics are there, but the format has evolved. And again, you see here, we spiral away from talking about the series and into talking about the format. And with the format, I already said, like with formats, don't view them as rigid, static thing that you should do every time, and more of a, well, that's a cool thing that I want to add here and here and here and here, and maybe to some point, then maybe not. Like, view them as little doobly-doos. I guess that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk for today. Look, it was a funny discussion. I hope the raindrops are not too annoying, and I hope my phone didn't get all drenched and I would be able to continue doing shit with it. My selfie stick is soaking wet. It has this handle, and it's like foam, and if I squeeze it, I bet water would come out of it. My shoes, they are just oceans in them. But my backpack, you can see, there you go, it's yellow, it's cute, and my coat are actually waterproof, well, almost entirely waterproof. So I'm doing fine, with the exception of the water that came in there, but I don't give a fuck. It's actually like, it's warm outside. It's not hot, thus the the coach, but it's warm. So in the coach, it feels like a warm sunny day, which is a warm rainy day. So yeah, I really like wetness. I like rain. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, that is it. I am currently actually working on a script for a different video. That'll be a first for me. I've never done a scripted video, and I'm working on a script for a video about Samurai Jack, season 5 and in general, but mostly focusing on season 5. And yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. I hope to finish it at some point. See, I've never done it, so I don't know how to approach it, and I'm trying my hardest, and so far it's going great. I don't know. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.